Hey guys, so in today's video, I'll be breaking down how you can do surplus funds in the state of Ohio. We're going to go through a few counties. I'm going to show you guys how you can track new sales, create your own list, and also how you can look at existing sales, and then also tell you the legal requirements to operate doing business in this state. All right, so for starters, Ohio is a judicial state. This means that the county is holding the funds and they're conducting the foreclosure, and they do that through the sheriff. All right. Now, the sheriff is going to conduct both mortgage foreclosures and tax sales. Now, there's some distinctions that we'll be breaking down, and then also I'll show you guys how you can verify surplus funds in this state because it's not as simple as you think. They do use this platform, Real Foreclose, which is a similar auction calendar that Florida uses. So we're going to go ahead and break that down. So here, this is a very recent sale. You can see today is August 16th. This sale happened on Monday, August 11th. What we're looking for are properties that are sold to a third-party bidder. Okay, now there's something that I need you guys to understand. In mortgage foreclosures in Ohio, on the auction calendar, the opening bid is not the debt amount. All right, once again, the opening bid is not the debt amount. The opening bid on mortgage foreclosures is 2/3 of the appraised value. All right, very crucial for you guys to understand that because there's some people who might just initially look at it's sold to a third party bidder, and then see the opening bid and will say, like this one, they'll say, oh, there's a $28,000 surplus. Or this one, they'll say, oh, there's about a $9,000 surplus. Or this one, they'll say, oh, there's a $200-some-thousand surplus. That's not the case, all right? So what we'll have to do is go do further research. Now, on the tax sales, I'll show you guys how you can verify that. But on mortgage foreclosures, it's 2/3 of the appraised value, which has nothing to do with us. The appraised value has nothing to do with us for surplus funds. We need to know how much the debt was on the property and then verify that it sold for more than the initial debt, additional debt, and any liens. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So in order for us to search and verify that, we're going to have to take this case number. All right, so this says CV, which means civil, 23, and then it has a case number. Now, each county in Ohio is going to have a different format on how you can actually search their case numbers. All right, in this county, Cuyahoga, all we need are these numbers right here. All right, CV and 23 is going to be different. All right, so we're going to go to clerk of court search. Once we click there, now we're going to perform our search. All right, so we're going to go ahead and agree to the conditions, and we're going to do civil case search. We're going to go case type civil, and then here we're going to go 23, and then we're going to go ahead and plug in the case number and hit submit search. All right, now this pulls up the docket, and here we can see the prayer amount shows $262,131.31. This is the initial debt that is owed. The prayer amount is basically the judgment amount. That's the initial debt that caused the foreclosure. All right, so 262 compared to selling at 635, that gives us our first indication that potentially there could be a surplus. What we'll have to do next is search to see if there are any additional debt and liens, maybe a home equity line of credit, maybe a solar lien, anything like that that's going to come into play. So how can we do that? We can use Excess Elite. They have the property information report where we can plug in the address and we can go ahead and take a look. So here on Excess Elite, they provide the property information. They show the opening bid, the closing bid, and here they show us the actual debt amount that was on the prayer. So they're telling us that potentially there's a $372,000 surplus. Now here they're going to give us the owner's information. This is blurred out for YouTube's reasons. Tell you if they're deceased or not. They'll tell you if they are on the DNC list or not. They'll give you email addresses, they'll give you relatives, and then here we have all of the recorded transactions on the property. Now here, this is where we perform our research to see if there are any additional debt or liens on the property. All right, so What we have here now is some details on the foreclosure, and looking at this looks like a pretty valid claim. All right. So this first property, we can say, hey, potentially there is a good surplus, and the case parties, we'll see who the defendant is. We'll do our research, verify the ownership, check to see if they're still alive, perform our skip tracing, and then mark it. So pretty simple. You would go through all of these. Anytime the property is sold to a third party bidder, you would take the case number, verify that the property did sell for a higher amount. Now, on tax sales, it's a tad bit different. Let me go ahead and show you guys that. All right, so now we're going to go to a tax sale. So we click here. The tax sales typically have more properties that are up for sale. That's why I can see here this is a tax sale. Like all of these are tax sales. So we click here, and you can see here it even says tax. But now we're going to look for ones that are sold to a third party bidder. Here you can see they don't have an appraised value. They just show the opening bid. So you can go based off of that value. You can do your research, and these are typically good ones, but you do have to check. Ohio has a lot of people who has liens from the IRS, from the state, from Medicare, things like that. So you'll want to do your research, but same format. We can take the case number, we can do our research, but you guys can compile leads pretty consistently. The good thing about Ohio is all the counties are on this platform, Real Foreclose. So you can go through here and you can toggle through all of the counties. As you can see, there's a lot of counties, and just follow the format. Look for a property that is sold to a third party bidder, do your research, confirm that has been sold for a higher amount, check to see if there's any additional debt and liens, and then you're going to verify who the owner is, see if they're still alive, do your skip tracing. If they are deceased, look up the obituary, and then find them. All right. So preparing your own list. I mean, these auctions occur online pretty frequently, and you can get the sales results immediately since they're online. You can literally track the sales in real time. You can create your own list and go ahead and attack and market and do surplus funds. Now let's talk about existing lists. So here, this is Franklin County. They have a lot of money. All right. So here, 9.2 million in surplus funds that are available at this county. Now, some of these might have a pending claim, so I'm going to show you guys how to do your research. But basically, we're going to take a look at these claims that can really, you can move for 88,000, 102,000, 132, 117, 102. Like, there's some really large claims here. And if you assist these individuals, you'll be good. Now, 366, that's awesome. Now, 308, that's even amazing. What I highly recommend, guys, is get registered to become a finder, all right, or also known as investigator in Ohio. You're going to do your background, you're going to get your fingerprints. This surplus funds are not unclaimed funds in terms of the county and state level in Ohio, but you can use that to your advantage when you're communicating with clients. You can tell them, hey, I'm a registered finder, I'm a licensed investigator, I'm reaching out to you today because I have located some funds that are entitled to you, and I would like to assist you on filing for that claim. It's going to help you out, guys. Trust me. All right. So basically what we have here are case numbers, and now we just need to perform some research. So I'm going to show you guys. Let's go and take a look at a very large one. We'll do this one for $308,000. All right. So let's take a look. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this case information and perform our research. So we'll do this one for $308,000. That is listed right here. So here we can see we have 23, that's the year, CV, civil, and then we have the case number. So we're going to take that. We're going to head over to their case search. We're going to plug in our information, all right? 23, we're going to change this to CV, and we go here and we plug in the case number. All right, so now we have the docket. All right, now here, this is where you just simply do Command F or Control F depending on your computer. And then now we have the notice of excess proceeds. You do want to check to see if a claim has been filed. Here I can see on this one, they did have a couple of claims in, but I'm just showing you guys the process that you can find the proof that somebody's entitled. So we're going to go ahead and click on the notice. Let's take a look at that. All right, so now we have, this is basically the proof, and it shows here excess monies in the amount of $308,000 from the sale are being held by the county clerk, and basically now we just need to go ahead and get the client under contract and then move forward with the attorney. All right, For attorneys, I recommend using Stephen Dodd. All right, he works on a contingent basis. He is a great attorney and he does a lot of these claims. All right, so you guys have 9.2 million that you can go ahead and get after, and there's many counties that have existing leads, and like I mentioned on the auction calendar, you can toggle through many counties. So Ohio is great. If you look at Franklin County, Cuyahoga County, Summit County, those are like the bigger counties that have some pretty good surpluses. So hopefully you guys like this video. If you did, go ahead and hit the like, hit the subscribe button. If you guys are interested in my programs where I can set up your business and help you operate a fully functional surplus funds business, go ahead and click the link in the description.